like different forms of art would interact with each other, breaking the form of the language of art was extremely fascinating.
50 years later, the influence and inspiration from New Wave French cinema is as significant even today. But let's now talk about music with a difference. And for that, we have the band Moriarty from France. Let's first ask Rosemary on what exactly is your music about.
It's a mix of a lot of different influences like blues, rock, cold wave, very old 50s influence, country music. I would say classical music also.
Okay. Now there's something very fascinating about the name of your band, which is Moriarty. I mean, I want to know a bit on where it comes from, and I also know all of you are very loyal to your band. You use it as your second name. Arthur, do tell us a bit about your name, about the name of your band.
Sure. Well, when we were looking for the name, we were all reading this book called On the Road by Jack Kerouac, which was written in the 50s. The main character of that book was called Dean Moriarty. And he's a man who would say something like Mosem he Ashkana, just traveling across the United States, meeting people, listening to jazz, and just digging it.
I guess that's the best possible tribute that one could give any character out of a novel. But Charles, I guess the reason why your music is such a mix is also because understanding that all of you have spent a large part of your childhood in Paris, but it's also because you've traveled well, you've spent part of your childhood in different countries, and that's where all your music is coming from. I mean, mixing all together.
Yeah. We've been playing in Paris for 15 years, but then we made some journeys, some trips. Thomas and Arthur, they went to Africa and the USA, big 9-month trip, and yeah, it kind of influenced the way, for instance, Arthur plays the guitar. Comes a little bit from here, from this travel.
Okay.
And me, for instance, I went to Asian countries like India. Yesterday I bought this sarangi bow.
Yes, it's fascinating.
And we can mix this like Indian instrument with ours.
It's a beautiful mix, and now I know where you get your Hindi from. I mean, you've already traveled in India before. But Thomas, the final question for you, considering that there's so much of a mix of genre in your band, have you ever got the reaction that it sometimes seems more of a confusion than an artistic fusion?
Good question. That's very good. The last question is the most difficult, and it's for me. They're the same, almost the same instruments on the different pieces, and the songs are different, but they have the same soul. They have Rosemary's voice, they have Arthur's guitar playing, they have Charles's guitar playing. I think it's very coherent. Nobody has ever mentioned confusion.
Nobody's ever mentioned confusion.
Never.
Okay. Well, that's the best note to end this show on. That's it from me and my team on this special episode of Bonjour India Festival of France. It's on till late Feb in your city. Log on to their website bonjour-india.com to check out what's happening in your city. But let's wrap up the show with a final performance.